So it's the pre-final for Micromax Day 2. Let's have a look at your starting grid. Maxim Becker from Germany will start on pole position, and alongside the number 55 will be the number 30 of Denny Babacek from the Czech Republic. Zen Lindemann is on the verge of becoming the new Micromax champion here in the BNL karting series. He will have Jensen Chalk in the number 64 alongside. It's all Belgian, row number 3 with the number 11 of Mikael Kumas, number 24 of Vic van Kampenhout. Jeff Verbeek and Max Gilman round out row number 4 with Jack Freeman and James van der Poel rounding out the top 10. Ryan Rivers and Sees Moyes rounding out the 12-strong grid. So at the moment, Zen Lindemann has a 39-point advantage, taking into consideration drop scores. So the pre-finals and the final from yesterday, Zen can count as a drop score. For Vic van Kampenhout, it will be the final on day 2 at Marienborg, and the pre-final yesterday that he can use as his 2 drop scores. So for the championship standings, it's the best 10 out of 12 races over the course of the 3-round calendar, where we have effectively a double-header weekend every weekend. So drivers go out for qualifying on Saturday and Sunday and have a pre-final and a final. Right, a little bit of a moment. That was the number 48, that is Jeff Verbeek, and I wasn't too sure which was the other driver. It's just going through turn 5 and 6 at the moment. So just having a little bit of a drama on the official formation lap. So hopefully Jeff can catch on up to those in front, as the front row now starts to control the pace for the rolling start. Been with a possible incident with Jack Freeman, I think, in 93. But the drivers now getting themselves set and ready. Red lights ignited on the starting gantry ahead of 13 minutes plus an additional lap of racing. And Kampenhout needs to do all he can to deny Zen Lindemann to pick up the title with 1 race of the season remaining, as the drivers now slowly crawl their way through turn number 12. It's Becker on pole, Babacek alongside. Right then, for the first time today, revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out first time. We are underway. Good start from the front row as Jensen Chalk trying to see if he can make a move early doors on Denny Babacek going through into turns 1 and 2. As we've had the number 6 of James van der Poel have a spin at turn 2, but manages to get back underway. Lindemann at the moment running in 4th place. And just behind him is Max Gilman, who was looking for a unique racing line going through turn 5. Gilman gets a little bit tail happy and is trying to put down the power through turn 6. Babacek now trying to get through on Becker. And the number 30 bumps over the curbs through into turn 7, manages to get through and take the lead. Jensen Chalk waiting the wings. Babacek runs a little bit wide. Becker gets through on turn 8. Now Jensen Chalk looking for a move up the inside, and he could get 2 for the price of 1, could the number 64, but this time it does not happen, as both drivers get past him. Great traction for the rear end on both Chalk and also Lindemann. Nice move by Vic van Kampenhout round the outside of Jack Freeman through turn number 10. And that's followed by Max Gilman in the number 69 who goes through on the inside through turn number 11. So lap number 1 completed, and Denny Babacek pipping Maxim Becker to the lead of the race by just 14 thousandths after the opening lap. Lindemann to put some pressure on the two in front. He's got Kumas is just behind. Side by side between Max Gilman and Vic van Kampenhout, and now Jack Freeman trying to make it 3 wide down the Judderpollaan. Bit of a slipstream fest going on there as they head into turn 7 for the second time. But Denny Babacek has pulled out a lead over Jensen Chalk, who rounds out the top 2. As we have had a little bit of a drama, that is Jack Freeman and Max Gilman that have just come together on the top part of turn number 9. Not returned. There's still some water left on the residual water left on the circuit. The standing water puddles seem to have dissipated. But Babacek leading the way by the best part of nearly 1.3 seconds. Sven Lindemann now makes his way up into 3rd place ahead of Maxim Becker from Germany. Vic van Kampenhout has 10 minutes plus an additional lap to try and get himself as far up the order as possible. As the field once again makes its way through turn number 7 into turn 8. So both Freeman and Gilman trying to close in on the 2 in front, which would be Says Moyes in the Maranello chassis on the number 34 entry, and James van der Poel on the Sodi kart. And look at the run that Jack Freeman's got on James van der Poel coming out of turn number 11. Number 93 from Great Britain goes up the inside through the final corner. The pair are nearly side by side coming out of turn 12. Max Gilman's making it a diagonal. And then it's line astern. Freeman pulls out of the toe from van der Poel. Gilman goes through. And they are 3 wide coming out of turn 2. Gilman's got the inside line, switches up and gets the pair of them through turn 2. So a great little close quarter dice between these 3, as they were literally, they're in a diagonal, then in a straight line, and then it was 3 wide coming out of turn 2. Nice control by all 3 youngsters. There's Ryan Rivers, currently rounding out the top 6 positions. But 5 minutes are completed, 8 to go, plus an additional lap. Just keeping an eye on who's put in the fastest lap of the race so far, but it is of course the current race leader, Denny Babacek. 1 minute 16.047. And a good battle here between Ryan Rivers and Mikael Kumas. So Rivers has now got himself up to 5th place. That's 11 points. The battle for 3rd in the championship could also come down to the wire in the last race of the season. Now we are about to, well, we're not that far away, about half a minute away from the halfway point of the race, but Denny Babacek has got a comfortable lead. And it's a country mile. We might be halfway home at this rate. The youngster in the number 30. As Jensen Chalk still holding on to 2nd position. Last time around was just under half a second in front of Jensen Chalk, or just half a second behind Jensen Chalk. So Chalk and Lindemann rounding out the top 3. Ryan Rivers looking around the outside of Maxim Becker through turn 12, and they nearly touch. That's going to open the door for Mikael Kumas in the number 11 in 6th place. Becker still keeps ahead for the moment. So we're past the halfway point of the race itself. Babacek now has a lead of nearly 3.3 seconds. Jensen Chalk rounds out the top two. Lindemann about half a second still adrift from the number 64 from Great Britain. All of them have put in their personal best lap times. Babacek has got absolute waft and then some, as now there goes the move. That's Ryan Rivers up into fourth place, past Maxime Becker. And that was a nice move going through into turn number 6. We've still got Mikael Kumas not too far behind in sixth position, but now they both drift wide. It's both Rivers and Becker through turn number 8. So they've got to correct the understeer, but sometimes if you overcorrect, that's going to step the back end out to the left-hand side, especially if you're going through a right-hander. There is some track evolution coming. Still at that point where wet tyres are probably the better order of the day, but there is a dry line starting to show, particularly coming out of turn 11 and down to turn 12. Now the start-finish straight is looking a little bit drier than it has been all day so far. It was just under 4 seconds between the top two. Denny Babacek is really putting himself into just making a one-round appearance. But he could put himself maybe into the top five in the standings come the end of the race weekend. Now Lindemann gunning for second position. He wants to make sure that the title is out of reach for Vic van Kampenhout, because he's only got 4 3/4 minutes to go. I know that both his mechanic Vic Westerlaken and his dad Nick are just watching with eagle eyes right now, just making sure that they've probably got fingers, arms, legs, toes crossed, goodness knows whatever else, just hoping and praying that they get to the end of this race and there's no dramas. But this is a calm and composed drive from the number 4 from the Netherlands, running on the Birol ART chassis. Doesn't need to force the issue with Jensen Chalk. Chalk gets the better run coming out of turn number 12. So we head into the final 4 minutes of this last pre-final of the Micromax season. And now there's the move. That's a great one. Well teed up by Sven Lindemann. Loves racing in the wet, does the youngster. And it was a perfectly timed move up the inside of Jensen Chalk to now really put his stamp down on saying, I came into this race weekend as the favourite and I've pretty much done what I've needed to do. Jeff Verbeek and Seys Moyes have swapped positions in the meantime. So the number 34 from the Netherlands up to 8th place ahead of the Belgian in the number 48. So heading into the final 3 minutes of the race plus an additional lap. Denny Babacek still running comfortably in the high 1 minute 14s and leads by just under 4.1 seconds. Well, he crosses the line to complete lap number 8. Gap between him and what will now be new second place driver Sven Lindemann is nearly 4.8 seconds, as Max Gilman now has got past Jeff Verbeek, and also Jack Freeman's trying to get through coming into turn number 12. The battle here between the number 34 and the 24. That's Seys Moyes slipstreaming, and I think Vic van Kampenhout realises, well, I'm going to fight till the bitter end. I think he might already know that the title is far out of his reach. He's going to go back up the inside through turn number 3. They nearly come together through to the exit of turn 3 and on the run to turn 4. It's a great little exchange between the two drivers there. Van Kampenhout leaning forward in the car to try and get some aerodynamics working. Not as easy as if, say, aerodynamics are already there on, say, a GT car or a single-seater. In karting, you're very exposed to the elements that surround you. And Denny Babacek is lapping in the 1 minute 14.2s. He's just completed another lap as we go into double digits. But then Lindemann responds and puts in the fastest lap of the race so far, 1 minute 13.624, and that gap has gone down to 4.3 3 seconds. So Zen Lindemann took 4/10 out of Denny Babacek that time around. Jensen Chalk rounds out the top 3. Ryan Rivers up into 4th place now. So we're going to have this and 2 additional laps as Max Gilman makes a move on Vic van Kampenhout. That will be for 8th position. 45 seconds on the clock plus an additional lap. Denny Babacek pretty much has clocked out and gone away from the rest of the field. He's making his way out of the final corner. So 2 more laps to go in the Micromax pre-final. As Denny Babacek now goes on to lap number 11 out of 12. Max Gilman. Oh, right, Maxime Becker has just pulled into the pit lane as the timer is about to hit 0, so the German out, possibly with a technical issue. So, timer has hit 0. This and another lap will secure a new name to hit the Roll of Honour list. As Jack Freeman trying his best to get past Vic van Kampenhout. And that is for position. Oh, that's a beautiful move there from Jack Freeman. Can he get it done? No, he can't, because van Kampenhout keeps it pinned to the outside. Going through turn number 5, but then through turn 6, Freeman lines it up, hits the throttle, and it catapults him forward. So the last lap board is out. There is your race leader. Zdeněk Babacek from the Czech Republic has won all things yesterday. 2 wins in the pre-final and the final respectively. And he's on a total of 75 points, but he's doing double duty this weekend. There he goes into turn number 6 for the final time. Down the Europalan. And a great scrap happening between Jack Verbeek and Vic van Kampenhout. Now this is for position, this is for 9th on the road. So keeping an eye on our competitors around the field. Our leader now making his way through into turn number 10 for the final time. But my main focus, apart from Denny Babacek coming here and putting the cat amongst the proverbial pigeons, is the driver that currently sits in 2nd position. So ladies and gentlemen, out of the final corner, Denny Babacek wins the race. But now, here we go. It's a new champion in 2022 by my calculations by 51 points. Zen Lindemann has provisionally wrapped up the BNL Karting Series 2022 Micromax title with 1 race to go. So Zen Lindemann takes the title with 1 more race to go, and he joins Tom Pappenberg, Max Sederski, Tommy van der Struijs, Tom Bracken, Dewey de Decker, Luca Schoonmakers, Thomas Martins, Luca Leistra, Noah Voigen, Rens van Pelt back in 2012, Dylan Buys, Charles Opdebeek and Gino Wetzels as previous champions. So well done to him. But Denny Babacek takes the victory, Zen Lindemann takes 2nd and becomes the 2022 BNL Karting Series Micromax champion. Jensen Chalk rounds out the top 3. Ryan Rivers in 4th, Mikael Kumas in 5th, Seis Muis, Max Gilman, Jack Freeman, Vic van Kampenhout, Jeff Verbeek and James van der Poel round up the 11 strong that make it to the end of the 12-lap race, with Maxime Becker retiring on lap 9.